Hi, my name's Jen. Welcome to my channel, All of My Plants. Today's video is plant chores, and I've got a mixed bag. I've got Hoya, Alocasia, Anthurium. I don't even know what all. Things that need attention. So I'm going to try to get through as much as humanly possible in the shortest amount of time possible today. And maybe someday I'll actually be caught up again. The first one is my Anthurium scalprum. I'm just looking to see if I see anything that looks like root mealies, and I don't. It's just been knocked out of its pot. I'm not sure if the cat jumped on it. I'm not sure if it fell over. Not sure what happened, but it wasn't leaning like this previously. And I just don't think it's going to be happy like that long term. Let me see if I can get this saucer off without making a mess. But I'm just going to pot it in this pot. It's got the wicking cord, and it's in a Leca Pond mix, it looks like. So I'm going to put it right back in the same thing. That looks okay. I don't see any roots, though, I don't think. I sure don't. That's strange. Well, there's some in there. How good they are, I couldn't tell you. Some look good, some don't. Like, there's a whole gob of roots that don't look good. I see one sad little corm that doesn't look great. It's firm, though. I guess we'll put it back in the pot with the main plant. Yeah, a lot of these little fine roots are just toast. They've rotted. Not all of them, I guess. Not all of them. Try to get off the ones that did. I think I converted this from soil, and I don't think it's been repotted since, so I guess it makes sense that some roots would be toast. That, and it's been kind of neglected since I realized that it was knocked sideways in its pot. That's a lot of roots that have come off, though. I suppose it'll grow new ones. I don't see anything really to be concerned about, though. I'm pulling off the old pieces, plant parts. Sheaves, I guess they were at one point, once upon a time. Is there any leaves that look like they need to go? The one I burnt with the grow light. Other than that, I guess it looks okay. I think this one flowered also. I think they all flowered. I know they did. But yeah, it's been more concerned with that until here recently. I guess it's going to start putting out leaves again. Can you even see? Yeah, sticking up there. All right, so that's what I'm left with as far as roots that I didn't pull off. And if I pulled them off, they probably weren't great to begin with. Some of them have dried from being leaned over into the air. Whoops. But it'll be okay, I think. I think Alocasia can be pretty tough, actually. Not all of them. Not all of them. I've got a wick in here, so I'm going to try to hold the wick up off the bottom just a smidge. Because I want Pon and Leca and whatever I have here both above and below it for maximum wicking action. I have no idea what I did with the scoop. Maybe I should find that, because I did just do my nails, and I'd rather they weren't sanded completely with the Pon. I don't know where the scoop is, but I found a spoon. Whatever works, right? I think I still want it up a little higher. Oh, oh, I'm making a mess. Oh my God. Have mercy, Jennifer. It's fine. Everything's fine. All right, it's a little bit wobbly in there, but hopefully it'll settle when I water it. All right, I'm gonna clean up some of that leca and pond that I just threw literally all over the room, and I'll be back. I'm also gonna scrub that pot out because I have a use for it. I think I'm gonna put my Forgetii in there. All right, I had to go out and get more soil because most of the plants that I'm fooling with today are indeed in soil. This is just Fox Farm. The bag is enormous, so I keep it in my shed. Fox Farm mycorrhizae, Orchid Bark, Better Grow brand. I add this one because it has charcoal and chunky perlite. Vermiculite. I don't know why I'm on a kick lately. I've never used it in my life except for the last couple months maybe. Even more perlite. I don't know what size this is. It's kind of a medium. It's not really teeny tiny like Miracle Grow if you buy that brand perlite. At least in the store. I don't know if they sell a bigger one, but this one here is kind of slightly larger than that, but not super chunky either. That's about the size of it. More orchid bark. This one doesn't have anything but bark. It's not as chunky as the other brand. It's a little bit finer pieces of bark in this one. The Miracle Grow. And some handy dandy earthworm castings. I think there's already some in the Fox Farm, but I'm adding more. And see what that looks like from there. I want it kind of chunky. Right, so today is going to be the day of interruptions. And I may or may not get things done as quickly as I had hoped. This is the pot that I just took that alocasia out of. I've washed it. I don't know why I'm drying it, but I am, so. All right. I've got my soil all mixed up, and I'm gonna try to repot that Forgetii in there and maybe cut it. I'm not sure. We're gonna see what it looks like. So that's the Forgetii that I just talked about in my last video because it's one of my favorites currently. I kind of always love Forgetii, but this one here is growing well and pretty quickly. I'd say it definitely needs a repot. I don't know. Can you see the little root sticking out the bottom there? It's cute. Could also use some water. I'm just squeezing it to try to disconnect the roots from the inside of the pot. They've like grabbed onto the side of the pot in there. Some of them are coming off and some of them don't seem to want to. They're gonna have to come off though. All right. I'm gonna use this for a different anthurium after I wash it. And we got some little root action up there. And some more down there. I just did put this moss on and maybe a couple weeks ago. I'm not sure, it hasn't been long, but the root action happened pretty quick. Alright, I'm gonna see what I can get off here because I'm planning to cut the stem, the main stem of the plant itself. And I've got to be able to see where I'm cutting. If If I haven't left it with much root, I'll probably put it right back in what it was in. But if a lot of these roots are newer, then maybe it'll be able to hold its own in a pot that size. I hate to be so disruptive because it's been growing really well. I am going to cut it. I think it has enough newer roots that it might be able to sustain itself. It might slow down growing for a while, but that's fine. But I can already see where I'm going to cut it. I don't think there's much point in disturbing it past where I'm going to cut it. I don't know if you'll be able to see much. I wonder if I get in a little further. Zoom in. I'm going to cut it right up under in here. And you can see there's some newer roots toward the top there. So I'm hoping it'll be able to sustain itself just fine. That's the hope anyway. I wish that leaf would go with the bottom half, but it's not going to. Well, actually, it might have. No, it wasn't. It would have been with the top cutting. All right, we're cut. Trying to loosen it enough that I can detach the top cutting from it. Oh, I cut through a root. Oops. I didn't see it on the other side, I guess, when I cut. It really doesn't want to let go of itself. Let it go. Let it go. I'm definitely tearing up some roots in this process here. Really, it might be fair to say that I've let this go a little bit longer than I should have. If I plan to cut it, because now they're just wrapped and wrapped and wrapped around themselves, the roots. And I can't tell what's coming from where. All right, not too shabby. Pick some of this extra moss off here. And I am going to pot it into that. I think it's going to be all right. It's got a fair amount of roots there, so fair. I'll get to that stump here in a moment. You know what, I'm going to go ahead and pull off this, the spider mite leaf while I'm at it. And this piece of petiole. Is there any more piece of petioles? No. Got dirt all down in the growth point. Soil. And I've potted it kind of lower in the pot because I want to leave room to, in the future, put moss around the aerials again, because I might have to do this again, cut it again. And I did just order some, not the same as these, but similar pots. Oh, I can see roots around the side already. Hopefully that doesn't freak me out later. I'm like, wow, I need to repot it again. I don't think so. I think I'll remember. That, and I don't see any at the bottom half, so maybe I'll just wait until I see them all over there again. Hopefully, like I said, I remember, but yeah, that's what it looks like. I've left room around the top to either top it with moss or add more soil as it grows, and we'll go from there. I'm gonna go water it now though, because I had those roots in the wind, and they were kind of dry-ish. Not bad, but a little bit dry. Okay, and then my little stump, which I just kind of cleaned up off camera. Still got roots falling off. I try to get off any roots that aren't attached. Oh, there was one. I didn't do a very good job, did I? It's hard to tell because I'm just looking at spaghetti as far as I'm concerned here. It's just, it's hard to tell what's what and what's happening where. Which, you know, if you've ever repotted a plant and tried to separate roots. I don't know, I guess that looks all right. I was going to stuff it right in this very small pot. Why? Because it doesn't have any foliage. It has no leaves. And I want it to dry pretty quick. At least until we have some leaves going on. I think this is too small though. I really do. I have some of these that I got from the Dollar Tree. They're a little bit bigger. We'll do that. Give it a little bit of room to breathe. They're like liners. They're very thin. Oop, very thin. But I think it'll do. It'll do for now. And I'm going to go right up to the top of that stump. I want it barely visible because of there's roots up there, and I'm trying to preserve some of those. So I think if it does reshoot, which I say if because I haven't had the best luck getting them to reshoot, that plant will eventually need and have its own root system. It won't rely on this forever, if that makes any sense. So I want it kind of low, but not invisible down there. I'd like to be able to see where it is so I can kind of keep an eye on what's going on around it. Oh boy, I'm making a huge mess today. Huge mess today. Can you see? I can't tell if you can see anything that's going on here. I can't see that far. I'm kind of pulling the stump up as I go, that way soil can like settle into those nooks and crannies between the roots. If you see me pulling on it, that's what I'm doing. I'm not going to pack it down too much. I'm going to leave it kind of light and fluffy. All right, and I'm going to water this guy, and I guess I'll put it in the cabinet because the humidity's slightly better in there. I think that's the plan. Oh, that doesn't go in there. I'm going to attempt to get this Hoya on a trellis, which is kind of funny because it's already bigger than the trellis. But we're going to swirl it around, or whatever it is we have to do. And repot it, because I don't think it's been repot since I switched it out of semi-hydro. All right, let's see what it looks like down in there. Looks good. And I think this is one that did have root mealies. I'm not really going to disturb that a whole lot. I don't think. That's not the plan. The plan isn't to disturb it. I think I'm also going to propagate this little piece right here, but I'm going to propagate it in pawn. Get some soil in the bottom of this. I'm putting it in a 6-inch because it's fairly well rooted in its little, I guess, 4-inch. I guess that's 4-inch. I don't know. It's gonna be fun. Can I just mash you in here? Yeah, it'll go. No worries, no problems. Alright, let me fill around this and then I'll get it taped on there. Ugh. Whoops. I wasn't paying attention, about to knock it over. Why did I forget to turn the light on? Can you see? Okay, I'm making a mess. I'm not left-handed. I mean, I can use it, but it's definitely not my dominant hand. I reckon that'll do. I haven't checked this one since I brought it back in to make sure it doesn't have any pests. I don't think I have anyway. By pests, I mean like flat mites. I don't know if that's where they keep picking them up, is out there in the greenhouse, or what. But it's a pain in the butt. I'll probably just go ahead and spray it since I've just brought it back in at least once with... Okay, the battery died. I don't think you missed anything terribly important. I didn't find pests or anything. I mean, some of these are going to be harder to pin back. Get this one over here anyway. And hopefully not snap it in the process. Okay. I'm inclined to go to the back of the trellis with this, but that doesn't make much sense, does it? I just want to get it kind of loosely attached for now. It will figure itself out. It's going to look ridiculous at first, isn't it? Don't they always, though? Can't tell you how many times I've trellised something and gone, well, that looks stupid. But that doesn't last forever. They figure themselves out and grow in. Alright. So yeah, it does look ridiculous for now. Gosh, there's more of it. I'm going to propagate this bit. Where's my scissors? Let me get a paper towel because I don't trust it not to slobber all over the tablecloth. I don't know where to put it. I'm just cutting back to the node there. This one doesn't look like much of a slobberer. That's good. How about you? And I am going to bend this one down and around. I've heard you're not supposed to bend the new growth, the tip, down, but because they die off is what I've heard, but I haven't so much noticed that. And if they do, they usually reshoot from somewhere else along the vine. And it kind of actually encourages more growth, so whether it dies or whether it just keeps going. Boy, it looks ridiculous, doesn't it? I'm gonna bend it all the way down to right there. Yeah. Yep. Some of this Velcro is really long and tedious to try to do this with. I think it was from when I had plants on a moss pole that I apparently took off. Right there. I don't see any leaves starting on this, so I don't feel so bad about bending this particular vine over on itself. Alright. That looks crazy, but I promise it'll figure itself out. Alright, I'm going to water that because it was kind of dry, and I think it'll help settle it into this pot a little bit better. It's a new day. Again, I've got this Philodendron Patriciae, and I've been wanting to put it on a moss pole. It's 2 in here, actually, and I think I'm going to stick them both on there. Neither one looks great. They haven't had a wonderful time in my care. I don't know if a moss pole will help or not. They constantly look like they have thrips to me, or maybe even something fungal. I don't know. I've been treating them. I've not seen anything on them as far as thrips or pests go. But some of the, weird leaves make me think that maybe something's going on there. Mind you, I am half blind. Got a light here. I don't know. I really don't see anything. It's driving me nuts. It's making me crazy trying to figure it out. But I'm going to put it on a moss pole, and maybe it'll get happier. I swear to nothing. Put this moss pole together, I guess. That'll take me forever. Wow, it's dusty. I haven't done anything with moss poles in a while. But I've got about an hour to mess around today, and then I'm going to Pepper's, again in Delaware. Pepper's Greenhouse in Milton, Delaware. I'm gonna go up there, and then I'm gonna go over to, I guess, Seaford, Delaware, and get me some food. Oh, these are the hardest things to bend. Let's just speed through this real quick, shall we? I think I bent it the wrong way. That's why it's so hard to bend. That was trying. I am definitely going to look into getting some poles that are much easier to construct, because that's a pain in the butt. I don't know how long that took me. I don't have it on the display here, how long I've been recording that part, but wow. Wow. Like, that's ridiculous. I'm a patient person, but I don't love fidgety things. My hands don't work as well as they used to in my youth. All right, let me find the moss. All right, some good soggy moss. Really quite damp. Can you see all the condensation on the lid? It doesn't feel that damp. I don't know. Bottom. I think using a full-size pole is very optimistic for this plant. I think it grows pretty slow from what I've seen of other people's. And I know for me it's been slow. But to be fair, mine's also been unhappy the entire time that it has been in my care. So, are we surprised? I have more pots coming tomorrow. I feel like I should wait to do this till tomorrow. I'm probably going to put it right back in the same pot it's in, which is a clear pot, I believe. So, I guess it'll be alright. I guess it'll be alright. No, kitty, please don't help me. See the cat off the corner? Yeah. It's curious about what's going on up here. Alright, I'm not stuffing it all the way, because it's just more moss to try to keep wet or damp or whatever. Alright. I have the same soil I was using yesterday down there, set in the floor, in the bin. Air conditioner remote over there so the cat can come step on it. I don't know how great the roots are in here. I've had this plant before. This is not the only time I've had it. There was actually another one in here. Some of the roots look okay, but some look pretty dark. I can see some around the bottom there. I don't know. I did water it yesterday because it was kind of dry. I can't remember. Oh, one was imported. And I was trying to rehab it, but I was also leaving in the middle of that to go on vacation for 4 days or something. I think I had it in water. I don't know, but it didn't go great. And then I put it in moss or something to rehab, and it started doing okay. And finally potted it up, put it in the greenhouse, and it hated it. Hated it. The roots on these are actually better than I thought. I don't see any just sloughing off. And it has more than I thought it might. I'm not going to bother to completely untangle them because I'm putting them right back in a pot. And I got something in my eye. Probably hair. All right. What is with these cats today? Oh my gosh. They have invaded me. Let me evict them because this is going to drive me nuts. Sorry, kitties. Plenty of other places to play other than where I am. Okay. I'm gonna say, I guess it'll fit in here. Oof. You know what, maybe I better cut the bottom away. Because that's like, it's pretty snug in there. It doesn't leave much room for two sets of roots, small roots that they are. I'm gonna cut the bottom part here in the front. At least down low. Maybe I can stuff the roots back there that way. So yeah, I just cut out this section right there to hopefully allow myself some room to get those roots in there. I'm getting moss everywhere. All right, soil. I don't think I'm gonna need much before I have to put the roots in. I don't know why I insist on trying to do everything left-handed. Because I've left myself no space to put things off to the right. I guess that's why. All right. That'll do, I reckon. Got a couple ugly lower leaves. I'm just going to pull them off because why leave them? This one here doesn't have many leaves at all. Which way do I face that? I'm going to go this way with that. So they're both facing like that? Sure. That'll do. I guess. Maybe down a smidge further. And further still. Except for the leaves are hanging up on each other. I guess that'll work. I wonder if I have any of those clips left. And if I do, where the heck I put them. I got some clear acrylic stakes and they came with these little clips, which were very convenient for holding things on. I could be looking for them for a while. I'm not going to do that right now. All right, soil. I guess I'll spray these with, I'm wondering, do I want to try a copper fungicide? I don't know, maybe I'll just go ahead and use the same thing I'm using on pretty much everything else that I'm concerned about having pests. That's neem oil, alcohol, soap, dish soap right now because I'm out of Castile soap, but dish soap is better than nothing, I guess. Trying to get some of the air pockets out of the pole. That's problematic. So there's nothing in the pole. So that didn't, I don't know, you can't really see what I'm talking about. It's still very empty inside the pole area of this pot. It's very hard to push it back in there. I guess I should have tried to fill that first. How's that doing? Yeah, that's kind of working. Sure. I still see some air pockets in there, but I don't know how worried I am about it. It doesn't look bad. Maybe I'll just go with it. I guess if it becomes a problem down the road, then I'll burn that bridge down the road. It really looks like I've got it in there fairly well. And I think once again, once I water a plant in, you know what I mean, after you repot it, it kind of helps to shift things around and get them where you want them. So I'm hoping that'll be the case with this plant. Is that pole kind of straight? It's leaning. At least it's leaning backwards and not forwards. It's fine. Everything's fine. Okay. I'm gonna leave it at that for now as far as how much I'm filling it. Let's see if I can get it somewhat attached here. I know you won't be able to see what I'm doing here because it's fidgety, but I will show you. I really want those clips. Gosh, they make life so much easier. Try this shorter one first. Oh, it's got another growth point, and I don't want to pinch that. I'm gonna go find the clips and set this down somewhere where it won't fall. It won't fall over there, right? I'll be back. I did not successfully find the package of clips, but I found 2 stray clips. So I'm just gonna use those. I think it'll do. Gosh, I'm messy. Glad I put this on here so I can take it right back off and wash it. This tablecloth. All right. There's one. Where'd I put the other clip? Trying to see where that growth point is because I really don't want to cut it off and deny it access to growing. Okay. Looks ridiculous, but it seems like every time you put a plant on a pole at first, it looks a little ridiculous. I'm hoping I can make it happy. I'm gonna go, am I gonna water it? I'm wondering because I just watered the plant itself yesterday, but I did put it in a new pot. You know what, maybe I'll wait till this evening, see what it's looking like. But I am gonna go ahead and spray the leaves off. Yeah, because I'm not sure about it. Like, I see nothing on it that makes me think it has pests, but except for damage that looks weird. That could also be because it's taken me forever to figure out this plant actually wants to be much wetter than I thought it did. Live and learn. I don't know, but hopefully, hopefully, I can get it kind of happy, maybe. And it'll do a grow for me. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, and I think I have time for something else. I've got some little bitty Monstera aureas, 2, actually, that I'm going to plant together. Actually, I have 3. I'm just going to do 2 together. The third is actually quite a bit smaller than these 2. This one's dry. Can you tell how thirsty it is? But it's pretty. And then this is the other one. This one here, I think it's doing an every other leaf is green. Or mostly green. This actually only has 1 all green leaf. But that's the new leaf there. That's going to be pretty. I don't know if you can tell. Kind of like Polaroid variegation, I guess they call it. It shows up as the leaf hardens off. But it's going to be nice. All right, but I'm going to plant these 2 together in the interest of having 1 pot instead of 87. I see a fungus gnat. I just poked a fungus gnat. So anyway, I'm going to pot those 2 together in the interest of having slightly less pots all over the house this winter. And I'm pretty sure they're going to go in a 6-inch because they're both drying really quick anyway. Where's that bowl I just had? I just put it all the way over here. Whew. Okay. This one's got roots ready to pop out of the bottom, but not popped out of the bottom. They were just starting to kind of wrap around there. Can you see them? Yeah, I guess you can kind of see. Not bad. Not bad. Really not retaining much moisture though. I just watered this, not yesterday, day before maybe. Not sure, but either way, it's quite dry considering. This one here, it's been a little longer since I watered, maybe 4 or 5 days. Probably the day before I watered the previous one. Decent enough roots. It's like I planted them into straight bark and perlite. I didn't, but they've actually been in there a little while. A few months. A few months. Yeah, I can see the original stump on that one. I can on this one too. Yeah, so I'm just going to pot them together so that they're kind of facing the same direction. And let them go. For as long as they possibly can. For as long as they can. The cats are slamming themselves into the door outside out of absolute desperation to get in here. I just don't want them in my dirt right now. Alright. I guess that'll do. Where's my scoop? I feel like I'm always doing repotting. Like, that's not my number one plant chore by far. I mean, you'd think it would be watering? No. No. I don't know. I guess I do quite a bit of watering, obviously, but it seems like every time I water, I also find something that's ready to be potted up or, you know, like cuttings or propagations or something that just needs to be repotted. I exaggerate. Of course, watering is my number one chore, but this repotting and potting things up really does seem to be a frequent task. Alright, and I will water this one in because it was pretty dry, and I'll be back. Find it a nice cover pot and tuck it into its winter spot. Get ready to bring in some plants out of the greenhouse too. Well, I've been kind of bringing them in dribs and drabs because the greenhouse has been less and less fun for me every year. I love it. The plants still love it, but I also get very frustrated with the challenges of a greenhouse. So anyway, I'm gonna go water this. I'll be back. Okay, so it is in fact another day, day 3. This is just chaos because I just recorded another video here. It was a plant haul. It was the last video posted before this one, so that's where you'll find it in the timeline if you wanted to watch. So I just got some new pots, and I haven't ordered this particular kind before. They're like, I think orchid pots. What does it say on here? No, clear plastic planter pots with trays. Yeah, I've never had this kind before, so hopefully they were worth the money. Figure we'll take a look at them together, and I've got probably something getting ready to go into one. It's a variety of sizes. Shoebox. Of course I dropped it on a leaf. There's too many leaves in here, that's how. Oh, I like that the saucers are a little bit thick and sturdy. I've gotten some clear plastic pots before that didn't have much substance. So what do we've got? 6-inch? I guess somewhere in there, and then maybe 4-inch. A bunch of plant labels. That's cool. And little pots. I don't see where it says what size they are. I can't remember, but I'm gonna guess like 4, maybe 3 and a piece. I'm gonna say 4 and a piece, 6, and then these are supposed to be 7 point something inch pots. So yay! These are actually a little bit bigger than the ones I currently have. And I don't know if I'll go any bigger than that as far as the things I plant in clear pots. I don't know. But I like that it came with some smaller ones as well. They're more than clear, they're like frosted. So you can kind of see through them, but not as much as I had hoped. Because it does say clear. This is not, I wouldn't call that clear. Translucent, but not transparent. Okay. So I wouldn't order them again just based on that. However, they do all have some ventilation in the side as well. So, I mean, if you're just looking for lovely pots, great, but these aren't clear. The bottom's more clear than the sides. Okay. I am disappointed because they're not what they were advertised to be. Let me double check that and make sure it does say clear. I got them on Amazon. You know, a lot of times they get you with the details in the description. Orders. Yeah, okay, it says 32 pieces, which I guess it is with the trays. 4, 5, 6, and 7-inch clear nursery pots with drainage holes. So it does say clear. And it's not so much. But looking at some of the pictures, they show them being sort of transparent, but not completely. So I just read the description, looked at the picture, and went close enough. This came from the store's Barafat, B-A-R-A-F-A-T. I don't know. That's what I ordered. So were they actually $30? I don't know. Maybe they were. Yeah. I wouldn't order them again just because they're not truly clear. The other ones I have, I believe, are, you know, more transparent. You've probably seen me take plants out of them before. I can see through both layers of that, even though it's filthy. So, yeah, live and learn. I'm going to use them, though. Gonna use them. I've got them here. I'm not sending them back or going through any of that nonsense. All right, let's check. I've got an anthurium that's kind of levitating. It's one of the little bitty seedlings. And I'm gonna, I guess, put it in one of these. I might put it right back in the same pot. Not 100% sure. Oh, actually, I have 2 that I'm gonna try to repot now that I'm looking at them because they're both kind of levitating by. I see no stem actually in the soil, just roots going down in there. One is Anthurium Dark Phoenix, excuse me, and the other is Anthurium Dark Phoenix by Pap, which that's a neat leaf there. It's pretty. It's pretty. It's not fully hardened off, so I hate to mess with it, but at the same time, it's levitating so badly that I'm afraid it's gonna, you know, fall over and snap a root. The cat is already asleep in this box. That's cute. All right, get you down here so you can see what's going on. I guess I could put them right back in what they're in, but I think I'm going to go with these. They're slightly larger. Not that I think either one of them really needs anything larger. Oh, I can see a little bit of root on that one too. I don't know. I think they'll be okay. They're really not that much larger. They're just less clear. All right. I'm not worried about the soil. I don't think there's any rot. There shouldn't be anyway. Because these came rooted. They didn't really need any rehab. They look pretty good, so. But I am gonna look. Plug's still there. I guess I didn't break that off. I must have been in a hurry to get that potted up. It's dry in there though. I'm surprised. I'm trying to break a little bit more of the plug away. Looks like I broke parts of it off, but didn't want to fidget with it too much. Ooh. Break more up. And hopefully not any roots. Ooh. Please come away without tearing anything up. I see like some root through there and I don't want to snap that off. It's small, it needs its roots. Let's break some of the plug away from it, I guess. And it's a weird plug because it doesn't just crumble, it's like trying to rip apart a sponge. I don't know. It's frustrating. Maybe you can see, I'm not sure. There we go. But yeah, and I am going to leave it like that because I just don't feel like I need to keep yanking on that. Alright, I am going to get it some new soil. I think what I have is a little bit chunkier than what's in here. Don't know that it needs to be at all, but we're here. Oh, where did I put my tag? Did I bury it? Yes, I did. Yeah. Alright, same soil I use for everything. Actually, same soil I mixed up earlier in this video, so. What, they only give me 3 of these little guys? I guess so. See if I can get this a little bit lower in the pot this time. So that maybe it won't be levitating again in a week. Alright. And this was actually drier than I realized, considering I'm pretty sure I just watered it. I say just, within the last 3 days. Which day? I don't know. But I've been back and forth watering things in between, also recording some plant chores and, you know, doing life stuff. I've just got soil everywhere. Alright, I'm gonna go water it. I'll be right back and then we'll do the Dark Phoenix Pap. Okay, there's that little guy. Very cute, I think, humble opinion. Like I said, I don't worry about any water that gets in the tray of my anthurium because I do let them sit with kind of wet feet, even when they're small. I think it's better than letting them dry out. So, I'm gonna stick it back here for now. Stay safe. Hopefully I don't forget it. Alright, more soil. I'm assuming I probably didn't pull the plug all the way off this one either. Did it come at the same time? Yeah, these two came at the same time. Not from my last order, but the order before that, I believe. I believe. Getting a stack of pots over here to wash again. This one here I think might have a bit more roots. I'm not sure. Swear to nothing. Swear to nothing. I see more in this pot. Not a ton, but more. Yeah, not a ton more, but maybe a smidge more. And it definitely still has some plug on it. Boo. One little yellow leaf. Yeah, these plugs are really dry, even though the soil that was surrounding it was still fairly damp. The sponge is a very dry sponge. Does have some roots growing through it though. I broke one too. These are impossible to get off. I'd much rather it was in like a peat plug or whatever than whatever this compressed stuff is. It's so compressed it really comes apart like a sponge. It doesn't just crumble, you actually have to rip it apart. I'm pretty sure that's why I left so much of it on here, in the interest of not destroying roots. So once again, I'm going to leave a lot of it on here because there's a lot of roots growing through that. I don't love that for me. I don't love that for me. But at least I can get it a bit deeper in the pot. Just a bit. To get those newer roots covered. And the nubbins where even more roots will come from. I hate to do this because that leaf wasn't even hardened off yet. I assume it's going to stall. Like that it's going to be what it'll be now. What it is what it will be. There we go. It's okay. I think this was the better option than potentially letting those little bitty roots snap because of how it was flopping everywhere in the pot. Still kind of wants to lift up and levitate. More soil. I might have to put like a pin in it to hold it back that way because it's been leaning so long it keeps wanting to go that way now. And not really stay put. I don't know, watering it in might help. I think it will help. Look at these fade fast. I used a gold marker. That wasn't the best idea, but that's what I had on hand that day. Anthurium, Dark Phoenix, by Pap. Alright, maybe I'll be able to see that for another 2 months before it fades again. Is it just me, or do you, like if you write your own tags with permanent marker, does it seem to fade very quickly? I mean, they're Sharpies. What's going on? Alright, I'm gonna go wash it. Okay, and here's that one. Yay! It did actually hold itself up once that soil got wet and kind of settled. It's so pretty. You're so pretty. It really is. It looks much better not flopping around so much. I like it a lot. Oh, I almost spilled it out of the saucer. Alright. I reckon these will fit back in there. In the cabinet, I mean. I don't know. I feel like I should maybe take a look at the other ones that came at the same time. These are just the two that I noticed were kind of wobbling around. Let me check. Okay, so the other two are the Anthurium Delta Force, which just put out that crooked wonky leaf there, and it's got another one coming already. So that's pretty quick. That'll be its third since it's been here. I'm gonna say maybe 2 months it's been here. Can't remember. But yeah, that one actually seems okay in its pot. Seems a little dry though, so we'll water that one. And then the other one is Papillolaminum Legend, which is also kind of levitating from a little bit of stump, it looks like. It put out that one leaf there since it's been here. Cute. Am I gonna repot it? Or should I just top it up? I know it's got a plug in there. I see 0 roots on this one. None. Not even the tiniest little root along the side. So we might check that one out. I thought I saw some in this, but I'm not now. Is it hiding back there? No? Oh, do I leave it alone? No, I'm gonna pull it out of there because I'm gonna pull some of the leaves off and set it deeper. I need to see the roots. It's driving me nuts because I don't know what's going on in there. I hate to mess with it because this leaf isn't even fully hardened and it's got another one coming out. I should just top it up for now and leave it alone, huh? Just to kind of cover the new little roots down there. I don't know if you'll be able to see them at the base, but there are a few big old chonkers trying to come out. Plus that new leaf that I don't want to mess with. All right. Clearly we're just topping this one up, just to kind of get a little bit more soil around those chonkers, them chunky little roots. This gigantic piece of bark doesn't need to be there. Okay, I'm gonna call that done. Sometimes leaving well enough alone is the way to go. Because even if that thing is on there, the plug, it's apparently not bothering it too much, but I will water it, especially with a new leaf coming. This one here, I am gonna disrupt it and check it out. Because it is, like I say, it's levitating pretty good from a couple little roots, it looks like. Yeah, Papillola legend. Let's see what's going on. 0 roots. Either I broke that or it's rotted. Alright, so it's going to go back in the same pot, I guess. I'm pulling sponge off. Oh, there's a little bit of healthy root inside there. Not a lot going on, though, in the root front. I don't know that it's grown any. Like, it looks like it did when I unboxed it and potted it up to me. Alright, so that seems really big for that now, doesn't it? I'm wondering, do I just make the soil chunkier, or do I try to find a smaller pot and put it in? Honestly. Yeah, okay. I'm going to get some bark in the bottom of this pot. That way it's not staying soggy at the bottom. And pot it back in the same pot, just with less overall volume of soil. Because I don't trust myself not to rot it at this point. It's been slow to do much, though. Where did I put the bark? Here's the bark. Alright. Okay, I still want it to sit down low enough to where the newer little roots near the top can maybe potentially grow, because they appear to be trying, if only they had some moisture and substrate to go into. Alright. See if I can get this little dude in there. And hopefully not unalive it. I'm surprised, with as little root growth as it's had, which is basically none that I can tell, that it's still looking pretty good. I'm just trying to see if that's low enough. I think it is. Might have to bend the roots a little bit sideways, but they'll figure themselves out. As long as I don't snap them, they will anyway. I think this plant's going to want to lean because I have pushed it sideways like that. It's alright, it'll grow up towards the light eventually. Alright. I think it'll take a few days to get some roots going from the newer growth. But hopefully, cross your fingers for it. That's what I'm doing. I'm gonna remark this tag too while I'm at it. Because it's faded. I just had that marker. I know you all saw what I did with it. There it is. Alright, I'm gonna go water it. I thought I was done with the Anthurium, but I actually have this Anthurium Queen of Hearts that's rooting out the bottom, and it's getting dry pretty quick. I think I could use it up pot. And once again, it's just put out this leaf that isn't quite hardened off yet. Pretty close. I'm fine with it stalling where it is. But yeah, I'm gonna pot it only slightly larger. Get its roots back in the pot where they belong. Move the cat out of the way. No pee-pee. No ma'am. Yep, lay on the soil so that I have to move you again. This plant actually came the same time as the last four that I was just messing with, but it was already a little bit larger. So I'm hoping it has slightly better roots. Did I just break some? No, it doesn't look like I broke any. Slightly better, but now I'm not sure that I want to up pot it. I think I do. Once again, I'll just put a little bit more bark in. Most of the roots are still wrapped around a plug, and that's why I didn't take this plug off. Because they were wrapped around it and growing through it. Sorry, my dog just came in and startled me. But I'm going to leave it. Again, I really don't love to. But it's just, it is so one with the roots on this plant that I really don't want to tear that apart. I'm trying to grow more roots, not tear up the ones that it has. So, do I? Yeah, I am going to put it in this pot. We're just going to put a little bit more bark in the soil in hopes that we don't drown it. Give it plenty of room to breathe. It seemed to be doing fine in what it was in, which didn't have a whole lot of bark in it. A fair amount, I guess. I'm a big fan of bark. Look out, kitty. I know, you just got comfortable on that. Look out. So sorry, man. So sorry. Instead of putting bark just in the bottom, though, I'm going to kind of put it throughout and hope that it does all right like that. Not a ton more, but some more. This cat. Is that about where I want to be? I think so. I think so. Sorry, the cat. She just will not be persuaded to stay out from in front of the camera. It's her time to shine. You know what? I think I can get rid of this half a leaf down here that's kind of yellowing anyway. This one here. It had a brown tip, so I had cut that off and just left it to yellow a little bit more before I pulled it all the way off. It's just my preference. I don't think it matters too much. But I'll leave them until they look just horrid before I get rid of a leaf. As long as it's still doing the work, especially for younger plants or less established plants. I'll let some pretty ugly leaves stay for quite a while before I get rid of them. This one here seemed plenty wet, so I'll actually wait and then water it through, which probably seems counterproductive, but most plants I'll just water them right away. But where the roots themselves were still pretty damp, I think it'll be okay for a few hours to just let it sit. Let any water that was in that plug kind of disperse a little bit, and then I'll water it. It's, once again, it hasn't hurt anything, it's just my way of doing things. Fix the tag so I can still read it. This one actually hasn't faded as bad. It's been in lower light though. I just did move it to higher light within the last few days, I think. Nice new tag. Well, not new, but newly legible. Alright, that one's done. I was hoping to propagate some Hoyas, but just don't know if I'm going to get there. Don't think I'm going to get there. That might be a different video, just dedicated to Hoya. Because I have a lot of Hoyas that need repotting, propagating, etc. Alright, I'm set this back where it lives. Alright, and then this coffee plant here, which I just hauled. It's probably fine. Oh no, it has some roots coming out the bottom. I was going to say it would probably be fine in here longer, but the last one I had of these, I found that if you gave it room to grow, it would grow. So it'll quickly fill in the space available, is what I'm trying to say. My last one did, so I assume this one will as well. This seems like a very dense mix, which isn't great for me. I find that when really dense mixes like that dry, I don't get them hydrated as well as I could in something else. So I'm going to get rid of some of that. I don't feel the need to get it all off, but what I mean by they don't hydrate as well, it'll dry so much in here that it becomes hydrophobic, and then I can't really rehydrate it quite as well as I would have liked, or as much as I would like. It's like it keeps dry pockets. Yeah, I don't feel like I have to get all of this off, but some, because I'd like to fully surround that root ball in some nice chunky mix. I don't know if that's what coffee likes, but that's what the last one was in, and it was fine until it wasn't. And I don't think it was the mix or my care that killed it. I'm pretty sure it was mealybugs. 100% sure. Alright, get that out of the way. Can we see past the cat at all? I guess we can. She's decided she lives there, and I just don't have it to keep putting her in the floor. I'm already tired of putting her in the floor. Where I need a scoop, because the scoop isn't doing it for me right now. Trying to make less mess instead of more. It's a leaner. I think, if I recall, these take pretty bright light, like a champ. Like a champ. What did the pot say? Sun to light shade. So yeah, as bright as I can get it. That's what I'm going to be giving it. I'll probably set it in a windowsill. This one out here is a southwestish facing window. And the only problem with that window and putting plants in it, it's got that film on it. I don't know if anybody saw that video. I put like a rainbow prism film on there. Not prism. And so that helps to not fry the plants that live there, but it still gets very hot. Heat does build up. It's in a hallway, so heat does kind of build up in there. And that's something I guess I need to be aware of. Of course, I've potted this off center. Well, that's how it lives now. Till the next time it gets repot, I guess. Alright, I am going to water this one, because it was pretty happy in its little pot until I snatched it out of there, knocked half of its soil off. Gosh, there's so much dirt, potting mix, etc. everywhere. I'm gonna have to take this thing off and wash it. But it has been on there 3 days now, to be fair. Alright. That might be where we leave her, because it has been 3 days, and it's actually the third night now, so I'm gonna leave it there, I believe. Once again, as usual, I did not get nearly the amount done that I had hoped to. I had, well, still have, but I was hoping to get them done in this video, a bunch of Hoya that I wanted to repot and propagate, and a couple begonias too. This begonia here, I don't know if it's visible. Yeah, you can kind of see it. It's just crawling away from its pot again. I already have 2 pots of it. I guess I'm gonna have 3. I don't know, maybe I'll get brave and mash them all together in one pot. Either way, I've done what I can do for this video. I think it's probably getting pretty long. So yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out with me, and come back and check me out again soon. Bye.